You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And the Celtics able to pick up the victory. Nice hair going here tonight, by the way, on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. That's what I get for, we're doing this live, by the way, right now. I don't even know if we've got that looking right. We don't. Looks horrible. Looks like an old man. I don't know why we started so quick, but we did, and here we go. And, I really don't care. That's our open. They always want us to blow you away with a show open, and that was not a good one right there. Celtics rebound from the loss against the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday night, pick up an impressive 25-point win against the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center on Wednesday night. 25-point win, 139 points in the victory. Celtics a strong second half, and with that, comb of the hair, whatever, the comb over. Welcome to the Locked On Celtics Postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime basketball play-by-play announcer, currently with Quinnipiac University in the MAC Conference, also formerly with ESPN and a former national show host on ESPN Radio and satellite radio. You are locked in with the Locked On Celtics Postcast, providing reaction to every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we're going to discuss raining threes at the Barclays Center. Pritchard off the bench. Tatum fooled around, almost hit a triple-double for the first time this season. Tatum was terrific. Brown was terrific. Celtics earned the win. No Al Horford, no problem. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit us up in the comments section and join the chat. You can also hit me up on the X at Lennox on Hoops with questions, comments, or concerns. No concerns tonight. And our latest Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet with FanDuel.com to get started. Again, we want to hear from you tonight. Celtics, no Al Horford. For the other side, the Nets looking for a second straight win for the second time this season and trying to get back to 500. Celtics Wednesday night in Brooklyn, trying to avoid losing a second straight for the first time this season. Back-to-back games. You think, okay, they're going to be tired. Well, the Nets up by as many as 13 in the first quarter. Celtics never led in the first. Celtics, though, knocked down 5 threes in the first quarter, and Jayson Tatum had 13 in that first. Zaire Williamson had 11 in the first quarter for Brooklyn. Hauser, late in the quarter, had a three-pointer. That brought the Celtics to within 6. Nets trying for a 2-for-1. Schroeder missed on a 3. Tatum and 1 missed the free throw, but that brought the Celtics to within 4 points at that point in the quarter. Nets a turnover, their first of the first quarter. Noah Clowney offensive foul, and then Tatum with a basket. Celtics closed out the first quarter, closed out the second quarter in strong fashion. 11-3 run to finish out that first quarter, and down just 2 going to the second. Early second quarter, Celtics kept the run going. Celtics' first lead of the game coming on a 3 by Hauser. He had a night behind the three-point line. Hauser, his third 3 of the game at that point. Nets then went on a 6-0 run. Jaylen Martin a 3 to give the Nets a 7-point advantage. Tatum, quiet second quarter, 13 in the first, 3 in the second, 16 total. But Brown then got going. 13 for the quarter, 19 at the half. Pritchard did a nice job. He had 10 off the bench in the second quarter and 13 at the half. And for the second straight quarter, Boston knocking down 5 threes. Derek White, Cada starting for Horford, both in foul trouble in the first half. But just like at the end of the first quarter, the Celtics closed the second on an 11-3 run in the first quarter. They closed the second quarter on a 10-2 run. And the Celtics up by 5, 65 points in the first half, 65-60 advantage coming out of the locker room to start the third quarter. Cada had a dunk to open up in that opening minute of the third quarter. The Celtics put up 38 in the third, up 103-89 after 3 quarters. Tatum had 15 in the third. So he had 18 at the half and 33 through the first 3 quarters. And again, the Celtics in that third 8-0 run. They got to 90 points. Then they got to 100 in the third as well. Tatum off glass and in, 9.5 on the difficulty. He had 31 at that point. Celtics with 100. Hauser, as the Nets cut it down to 11, Celtics then went on a run. Hauser hit a three, put the Celtics up by 17. The Celtics up 103-89 going to the fourth. They went cold early on in that fourth quarter, but got things going again. Led by as many as 30. White hit a three, 19th of the game for the Celtics, 119-98 at that point, and they weren't done. Holiday knocked down a three. At that point, the Celtics were just under 50%, 20 of 41 behind the three-point arc, and we're up 127-101 with 4:27 to go, and they actually had to call a timeout. Jayson Tatum was flirting with a triple-double. Tatum ended up 12 of 19 from the field, 5 of 6 behind the three-point line, 7 of 9 at the free throw line, and they gave him a rebound back, 36 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. Brown, 24 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 6 of 9 at the free throw line, knocked down a couple of threes. White, again, quiet first half, woke up, knocked down 3 threes, 9 points total, and Jrue Holiday, 6 of 11 from the field. Holiday, 16.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Look at all those numbers outside the points. And we get into Payton Pritchard now, because Pritchard not only scoring 23 off the bench and knocking down 5 threes again, but Pritchard also had 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Hauser, 4 threes. Hauser, 12 points and 6 rebounds. So you're not just getting scoring, you're getting those other things. You're getting the assists, you're getting the rebounds. The Celtics cleaned it up in terms of not turning the ball over a whole heck of a lot in the game. Win by 25, 139-114 against the Brooklyn Nets. Want to see if I can come up with this real quick. Turnovers. 1 turnover in the second half for the Celtics. 20 turnovers against the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday night in what turned out to be a rough loss. 3rd of the season. But again, the Celtics, second game of a back-to-back. They're 2-0. Beat Charlotte in both, so winning on the second game of that back-to-back in Charlotte a few weeks ago, now winning game 2 of 2 in a row. In Brooklyn, traveling as well. It's an impressive win. 139-114. Nets were trying to get back to 500. Won the other night against the Pelicans. Lost 2 in a row back-to-back in Boston against Cleveland last week. And had a horrible fourth quarter against the Cavaliers in that game. But the Celtics, 38 points in the third, 36 points, 139 total. Absolutely. And gave up what? 54. 54 points in the second half. Nets end up with 114. And it's tough. Final 5 or 6 minutes, they're going up and down the floor. But the Celtics just, put the foot on the neck of the Brooklyn Nets. Now 2-0 against Brooklyn on the season. Hit the comment button. Mike Driscoll checking in. Great bounce back. Absolutely. One thing I need to mention. Go for it, Mike. Kornet just not moving the same impact that he did last year. Feel like he's almost becoming unplayable in some situations. I feel like he's getting beat consistently. Great observation. Was thinking the same. And what's he got? He's had a hamstring injury over the last week or so. I thought in the first couple of games, I was impressed the way he was able to be mobile. But yeah, blow-bys last night and again tonight on a couple of occasions. It could be the hamstring. It could be something lingering right now. Don't want to speculate too much, but he's had a little bit of an issue. We know that. So that still could be where he's not 100%. Mike, you chimed in last night with, do you sit Tatum or Brown? Do you sit Tatum for the first time this season? Horford was the guy who missed the game. I don't think it's anything serious, but it's a sprained toe. So he didn't play on the back-to-back. And they're going to do that with Al Horford on occasion as well. But an impressive win for the Celtics in so many different ways. Because once they got the lead, they just extended the lead. And I don't know that there was a message sent necessarily against the Brooklyn Nets. Because the Nets, they come to play. And again, they had a couple of injuries. Dorian Finney-Smith was out. He's a hustle guy. He's a guy who gets the loose balls. He's the guy who gets those second and third chance opportunities on the offensive end. And he wasn't in the lineup. Ben Simmons, who played well Friday night in the loss in Boston. He wasn't in the lineup as well. He's dealing with, I forget what it was, a calf injury. That's what it was overall. So want to look at one more number for the Celtics. Actually, it's for the Nets. But offensive rebounds. Nope, got to get to the full game. They had one, I can tell you, in the second half. The Nets had 3, and they're not a great offensive rebounding team. We saw that last Friday. They had 3 total offensive rebounds, but the Celtics didn't give them second and third and fourth opportunities like they did against the Atlanta Hawks. A couple of disturbing numbers from the Atlanta game last night, but a rebound victory and an impressive win for the Celtics. And now you get a couple of days off. Just one game now, off Thursday, Friday, Toronto Saturday night, 8 o'clock start time. And then you're off Sunday, Monday before you welcome in the Cavaliers next Tuesday. So this is really the first stretch where the Celtics have, one game in a 5-day stretch. This is the first time they've had that. They've been going pretty much every other night. Only one or two, only a couple of times where they've had 2 nights off in a row. Now you get that. You go back home, rest, recover, get ready for Saturday. And you go from there, right? I don't want to look ahead, but you're looking ahead to Tuesday. It's going to be a great game, right? Celtics, Cavaliers, first time this season. It's part of the NBA Cup as well, so the Celtics are 0-1 if you want to look into that and say, hey, that's a thing for us, and that's bragging rights. And remember, the Lakers last year did hang a banner for winning the NBA Cup. Winner this year, do they do the same thing? We'll have to wait and see until December. But 3 players over 20 or more points. Tatum, 36, 1 point off his season high, which he's done 3 times, I believe, this year with 37. And just more balance. You had Brown and White last night. White had the 7 threes, over 30 points. But just tonight, it seemed like the ball moved better as well. We touched on that after the loss against Atlanta. Getting to loose balls, seeing each other. I know we're going into numbers of the night, but when the Celtics are going well, look again, 10 assists for Jayson Tatum. 10 assists, double-double. And depending on what box score you're looking at, he was either 1 or 2 rebounds shy. Now they're going back to 8 rebounds. So 36, 10, and 8 for Tatum. Outstanding night, right? And again, it's not just the points. It's the assists, plus minus if you want to throw it in there. Kada, foul trouble, but he was 4-4 from the field. Had just 1 rebound. Had a nice block. Derek White had another block. He gets a block almost every game. That's his goal. And White, 9, and then Holiday came alive, 6 of 11 from the field. Ended up with 16. You almost had 4 players with 20 or more. But you had 5 players in double figures. You take that, you run with it. Celtics pick up the win, 10th on the season, now 10-3. Random thoughts when we come back. Your thoughts as well. If you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, share your thoughts. Cornette, got that one from Mike. Mike also, for the numbers section, Pritchard, 36 minutes since White was in early foul trouble. Yeah. Kept the Celtics head above water in the first half. Yeah, against Milwaukee the other day, kept him in it in the first half. And Pritchard I think it was Scalabrine. I hate doing this. When I reference somebody, I want to have their name. But somebody today on social media said that if Pritchard, I think it was Scalabrine. I don't know if it was on his NBA Today. He was on, I had the Yes Network, NBC Sports Boston, blacked out where I live in the New Haven, Connecticut area. So, again, with the Celtics, I enjoy, especially Ian Eagle. You can't go wrong listening to Ian Eagle and Sarah Kustok. She does a terrific job as an analyst. On the Celtics stuff, every once in a while, I enjoy listening or watching I should say watching, because if I'm listening to Grandy and Cedric Maxwell on the Sports Hub. But with this tonight, had the Nets broadcast, Celtics broadcast was blacked out in my area. But I like on the Celtics side, in the basketball side, I like listening to the opposing team because you get a different take on the Celtics. And what they saw from the Celtics on Wednesday night was Celtics basketball, right? Ran the Nets out of the gym in the second half. Down by 13, still somewhat a little bit concerned. But again, I've made this a common theme in the sense of when the Celtics get down double figures in the first quarter, they don't go crazy. They don't have to press. They don't have to, foul and defend and different things like that. 3-point shooting is what it is, and that gets them back in the game. They do get their stops, but they just don't go crazy. They don't empty the tank with the closing minutes of the third quarter, then have nothing left in the fourth quarter. But again, down double figures, you've got to come back from that. And the Celtics have had to do that a handful of times over the course of the season so far this season. It was Scal. Red Knot, appreciate it. Yeah, Pritchard, to finish that thought, thank you, Red Knot, appreciate checking in. Yeah, Pritchard could be a guy that averages, 20 points a game and 7 or 8 assists a game. So it was Brian Scalabrine. He was on the Yes pregame show with Frank Isola. That was fun. I like those guys in the morning on Sirius XM radio. I'm there probably about 60% of the time. Sometimes it's news, sometimes it's the MLB channel, sometimes it's Frank and Scal in the morning NBA radio. That's a plug for them. But Pritchard, if he's in the starting lineup, and there's something to be said here. It's one thing to be in the starting lineup and put up numbers for a bad team. I'm not, and I don't think Scalabrine was saying this either. Pritchard could do that for a first-tier team, a NBA championship contending team like the Celtics. If you have to put him in the starting lineup for an extended period of time, I don't think he falls off. I don't think he gets overexposed. I think he's, and you think too, argue that Payton Pritchard right now is not legit. Went way over here in the first segment, but I think it was worth it. Some observations, and we'll get into a couple of other things coming up in our next segment. And I just don't care about the hair tonight because the Celtics picked up the 25-point win on the road against Brooklyn. Locked On Celtics postcast presented by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if they pick up a win with that first bet. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is able to give you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get that hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, so keep the comments coming. Celtics pick up the win. And 2-0 now on the season against the Brooklyn Nets, who could have gotten to 500 with a victory on Wednesday night. They could have also evened up the series against the Celtics at 1-1. They'll have 2 more. Pascal, appreciate you checking in. They'll have 2 more meetings, Brooklyn and Boston, through the regular season here. But the Celtics, again, 2-0 on the second night of a back-to-back this season. They'll have 1 more back-to-back here in the month of November. Strong second quarter, up at the half. The threes in the third quarter for the Celtics, they just kept raining them home in that third quarter. The Celtics in the third, 7 of 11 behind the three-point line. Tatum was a perfect 3 for 3. Derek White knocked down a pair. Holiday had 1. Hauser had 1 as well. Then in the fourth quarter, Celtics knocked down 5 more. So 21 threes total, 5, 5, 6, and 5 over the four quarters. So they never went in. Early fourth quarter, up big, went a little cold from the field, but that was all right. Pritchard knocked down a couple in the fourth quarter. Holiday had 1 more. White had 1 more. And Jordan Walsh knocked down 1 as well. So there was a time there, Celtics outscoring the Nets by 9. In that third quarter, outscored them by 11 in the fourth. So they were plus 19 in the second half. You'll take it. Deep Blue, we need a good bounce-back win. You got it. Deep Blue, Red Knot, appreciate checking in for the first time. First-timers with us. Checking in with the comments on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Love it. Appreciate it. Keep them coming. It was a bounce-back win, especially the way they lost. And again, you walked away from that game, and I said it last night. Either tonight or tomorrow, I'll hit social media. I'll scroll through on X. You can follow me on X, by the way. You can follow the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel at Lennox on Hoops on the X, formerly known as Twitter. But the comments that were made after the game, Joe Mazzulla, the players, hey, 20 offensive rebounds, 20 turnovers. The Hawks last night really could have won that game by double digits. And again, I thought last night as I was putting the computer away for the night, that team was impressive. They were really impressive. They held on for the 1-point victory, took the lead, led in the first quarter, didn't lead again until they took the lead, their final lead of the game in the closing seconds. And the Celtics had a chance to win at the buzzer. Didn't happen. But again, that's an opportunity. Okay, maybe we can work this in the future. Didn't work against the Atlanta Hawks back in November. Might run similar play for Mr. Brown going forward. But it is a bounce-back win because, again, you haven't lost 2 in a row at any point so far. You've responded. Each loss, you've responded with a victory. Lose to the Pacers in overtime, win the next game. Lose to the Warriors, win the next game. Lose to the Hawks, come back and win by 25 over the Brooklyn Nets. And I'll tell you, the Nets have some pieces. But I thought last night, my kind of closing thought of the night was, it was almost as if the Hawks last night said, you know what, we're going to show everybody how we can play without Trae Young. I don't know if you felt that or not, but the Celtics 10-3 with the win. Atlanta last night, we don't have Trae Young. It's okay. We've got pieces, and they do. And they're probably going to have another top 5 pick next June in the NBA draft. So they're putting pieces together. Keep them together. I don't know if you can trade Trae Young or not. I don't know if he decides he wants to go. Celtics 10-3 with the victory. Again, 20 offensive boards allowed to the Atlanta Hawks last night. Comeback. That's the bounce back part of it. The numbers that were ugly Tuesday night, they weren't ugly on Wednesday. And you hit a whole bunch of three-pointers in the game. Kata in the starting lineup for the third time got into foul trouble, but ended up perfect from the field. Al Horford missing his second game of the season. A couple of random thoughts here. We'll try to get back on track. Spurs announced this on Wednesday, and my thoughts, my thoughts and prayers with Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, the organization revealing on Wednesday that Popovich did suffer a mild stroke earlier this month. No timetable for his return to the sideline. Expected to make a full recovery. Mitch Johnson continues to fill in as interim head coach with Popovich absent. Cavaliers, put this on there, 12-0 on the season. Hey, no back-to-back for Embiid. No back-to-back for Paul George. Let's scoreboard watch here for just a moment with random thoughts. Yeah, Cleveland wins again, 114-106 in Philadelphia. They stay perfect on the season. I almost, at this point in time, they're going to be perfect coming into Boston next week. Win against the Sixers. Friday, they've got the Bulls. Sunday, they've got the Hornets. And then in Boston on Tuesday. Both winnable games, obviously. But who's the first? Is it the Celtics going to be the first team? We weren't thinking about this 10 days ago. You'd think, all right, they're going to get knocked off at some point. But they're now 13-0 on the season. Still got a ways to go to reach 24-0 for the Warriors at the start of the 15-16 NBA season. But Cleveland, writing a nice story to open up the year. Really are. Good for them. Could come next week. First loss of the season in Boston against the Celtics. Mike Driscoll. Hauser. First game making more than 2 3-pointers. Finished with 4. Yeah. Once he gets going, I would like to see him, and Mike, share your thoughts on this. I'd like to see him every once in a while, and he does, but maybe a little bit more. And again, you guys are more familiar from the past Celtics to now. Hauser's game, 3-point line. Find him. And it's amazing the ball movement the Celtics get. Pritchard is very good. One dribble to his left or right, putting the 3 up. Hauser, get him the ball on the 3-point line. Just once in a while, defender running at him, put the ball in a couple of dribbles, pull up. Not his game overall. He's got the ability. He's got the ability to get to the rim. Is he going to do that every single time? No, you're going to want him to knock down 3-pointers. That's the shot, present day NBA. But it used to be, and again, I've got this thinking in my head, put the ball on the floor, get inside, get to the basket. You know, when a jump shooter, they're all jump shooters now in the NBA. They're so skilled. But when a guy was struggling from the field and from deep, put the ball on the floor, get fouled, go to the basket, get fouled, hit a couple of free throws. That would get shooters going in the past. Nowadays, it just next one you put up is going down. That's the mentality. And Hauser's one of those guys. You don't want to break that mentality. But I just feel like if he could put the ball on the floor every once in a while, it would keep the defense a little bit more honest, where they don't have to just fly out on him defending on that 3-point line. Mike's providing some good numbers tonight. We've got a couple of more to share with you as well. Celtics 25-point win against the Nets, now 2-0 on the season against Brooklyn. Locked On Celtics postcast. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate being with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. That's why we're here to tell you about Mint Mobile. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. I love that line. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, bang, they mean it. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and their jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk, and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts as well. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal. Get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. That's $15 a month from Mint Mobile. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on the first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions do apply. See Mint Mobile for those details. All right, Celtics pick up the victory. Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Celtics postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. Celtics have now won 6 in a row, 12 of the last 13 meetings with Brooklyn. That bodes well for the future. Celtics now 16 or more threes in 11 of their first 13 games of the season, now 10-3 with the victory. So the Celtics in the win, knocking down threes all night long. 22 three-pointers total. So let me go back here for just a second. How many did they knock down in that fourth quarter? I thought it was 5, 5, 6, and 5. Not a real big deal here. 22 total is the number. What was it in the fourth quarter? 5 in the fourth. 7 in that third quarter. I apologize. Knocked down 7 threes in that third quarter. So 22 total for the Celtics. Tatum, 30 or more. 8 time in 13 games. First in total points. Top 3 in scoring. And now just one or two rebounds shy of a triple-double, his first of the season. Now 5 double-doubles on the season. Payton Pritchard, 5 or more threes for the 6th time this year. 4th game this season with 20 or more. Derek White. Derek White on the night again was in foul trouble. First game this season for Derek White where he did not reach double figures. He had 9. But was in double figures each of the first 12 games of the season. Brown again, solid job, getting the job done. So some of the numbers of the night. The 7 threes in that third quarter. What's on tap? Hey, just 2 games now over the next 6 nights. Toronto, at home Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern tip. Thursday and Friday off for the Celtics. They can enjoy this. Joe Mazzulla had an interesting line. I believe it was in pregame shoot-around earlier today with the media. He said, I woke up the same way I went to bed. I think he was upset with that loss from Tuesday night, and rightfully so. It's understandable. It's understandable. But as I said last night, you win against Brooklyn, you win against Milwaukee, having to come from behind after getting down big early on in the first quarter. You could have been looking at dropping 2 of 3 in this stretch. But again, 2 victories now in the last 4 games against Brooklyn. You go from there. So 2 games over the next 6 nights. Off Thursday, off Friday, home against Toronto Saturday night, first meeting of the season, Raptors and Celtics, and then home against the Cavaliers next Tuesday. And a time right now, rest, recover, game plan, and you go from there. 25-point win against the Nets, 139-114 for the Celtics. Great second half for Boston. Never trailed at any point in the second half. Hey, a reminder, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter introducing the Locked On Celtics daily newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for the free Locked On Daily newsletter at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with all of the new free Locked On Celtics newsletter information. As always, we thank you. Audience participation, always fun to have. We do appreciate it. That's why we're doing this. Reaction after games. We'd had good reaction. We have a couple of newcomers and first-timers. Great to have you on board as well. Tell your friends all about us. Do not keep us a secret. Tip of the cap and a thank you to Mint Mobile and FanDuel, our sponsors with the latest Locked On Celtics postcast. And again, we do thank you for making Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast your first listen every day. Love our numbers. Want to keep building on them. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well. That's where we go live within minutes of the final buzzer with our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. Again, Celtics victorious. Tatum leading the way, almost a triple-double, 36 points. Jaylen Brown, 24. Pritchard, 23. Also had 8 dimes in the victory as well. Locked On Sports Boston. We'll see you Saturday. Again, Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out after every game. Locked On Sports, your team. Yeah, your Celtics every day.